evening, ghosts and ghouls. You're listening to a horrible podcast.
What's up, ghosts and ghouls? It's the one, the only JT Ripper.
That was too fucking loud.
And we're here with the special edition Horrorble Conversation.
Yep, I'm Todd of Thunder. And
we're going to have fun this episode.
turn your bass down.
Turn your bass.
Take that bass out of your
Hey, Dre, let the shit run. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We just wanted to put a fun episode out today. So we're doing things a little bit different with the Horrible Conversation. Today, we are going to, what are we going to do?
Well, we're going to be reacting to TimeOut.com's 30 best horror films of all time, 30 best creepy films of all time, 30 best scary films, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
This is basically kind of like a verbal reaction. We kind of wanted to just do something fun. Some of these movies that might be on the list we might not like talk about a whole lot. So this is a good way of talking about the films without, it's a reason to talk about the films because there's a lot of single films on this list that we normally might not talk about, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think it's a good way to get, our opinions out there about the movies because I don't know whenever else they're going to be brought up. So that'd be cool.
And then we're going to have a new segment because Todd is the brainiac of horror movies and professional wrestling. Not so much music. But we're going to play.
I'm a veteran.
I'm a veteran.
And a diabetic.
We're going to play the new game, Trump the Thunder, where I'm going to give him a list of trivia questions and try to trump the Thunder.
And if I lose, you win a bass guitar.
Sure.
Hey,
I play the bass.
We're kind of stealing this segment from that metal show.
Yeah.
You can reach into my trunk and pull out a prize.
That is one trunk I don't want to stick my hands in.
Oh, baby.
All right. Kicking off.
Well, like I said, this is the 30. This is timeout.com's, I went with this website instead of, IMD and, Rotten Tomatoes. Those are kind of popular sites, and I think we've kind of covered a little bit of those in other episodes. I don't think we've ever did Timeout. So, kicking off number 30 is from 1980, and it's The Changeling. This is the one with George C. Scott in it.
Great movie.
Oh, God. I love this movie. It's a ghost film. It's like a ghost / haunted house type of film. If you've never seen this movie, do yourself a favor, go back and watch it. I understand there's different types of horror fans, and some people don't like slow burns, and they don't like a build-up or whatever. They just want to get, right to the good scares and whatever. And, a lot of people won't watch horror films if it's not like just overly bloody disgusting. But we are kind of like, it's kind of like music with us. Like, yes, we're metal fans, but we are fans of all different types of good music. And that's the same way we are with horror films,
Yeah.
Not only do we like the Terrifier 2 bloody, disgusting type of stuff, but we like stuff like this, like The Changeling, which is just a good old-fashioned, atmospheric type of ghost film. We appreciate stuff like that. So that was number 30.
Kind of low, but
Well, we'll check it out as far as like all the movies in front of it.
right.
So number 29 from 1963, The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock.
This is one of those movies that I think a lot of people don't appreciate as much as they should.
Yeah, I think when this movie came out at the time, I'm going to guess that people probably laughed at it and
I don't know.
and thought that it was like, kind of strange. Of course, they had no idea where horror could go after this, but I always like movies like The Birds. I like taking like a small town and just, something horrible happens in it where it just affects this small town. Like everybody's affected. The preacher, the school teacher, the doctor, everything is just, it's like those small epidemic in small towns, and normally, they have to isolate the town and the army comes in and they won't let anybody out of the town and they want to just nuke every fucking thing.
Right.
I like those small town type of movies.
Well, I always like it when the thing that they're using you should be afraid of is something that is
Normally you wouldn't be.
or something that is actually a real life thing, like alligator, snakes, birds,
Yeah,
other
like
people.
like something that makes like an animal more aggressive than they normally would be because, birds are annoying, but they usually don't fly down and pick your fucking eyes out.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
they don't eat your eyeballs like Hershey Kisses.
Yeah. So number 28 is from 1981, and it's the original Evil Dead.
Wow, I feel like that should be a little bit higher, but I mean, we just talked about the Evil Dead
Yeah.
not too long ago.
Yeah, we did a whole podcast on the whole series, basically. So, you guys know that we love all the Evil Dead movies, and we pretty much, have stated that as far as consistency in a franchise in a series, Evil Dead is like ranked up there, top 2, 3, maybe even number 1. It depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, go back and forth with Scream. But.
Yeah, coming in at number 27, one of the most profitable independent films ever made, The Blair Witch Project.
Me and Brandon talked about this movie yesterday.
Oh yeah?
He says it's the most overrated horror movie of all time.
Well, Mr. Brandon, I kind of disagree.
I disagreed with it too.
I think it's the most. You know what I compare this to? We like wrestling, right?
Right.
This movie is like WWF, which means when you watch it, it might not be your type of movie, and it might even, like when you watch WWF wrestling, like in the 80s, early 90s, it's kind of cartoonish, but it makes so much goddamn money because they know how to promote their fucking brand. So if you want to say that this is the most overrated movie as far as a horror film, okay, I'll buy that. But the way they promoted this film was...
That's exactly what I said. The way they promoted it was fucking brilliant. People
Yeah.
thought this shit was real.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I'm not just saying this just to say it. I like the movie.
Oh, I like the movie too.
I really like the movie. Like, to me, like, it creeped me out because even though they say that you don't get a payoff or whatever, it's the feeling of something's there.
Right.
Like, it's a lot of people that feel the way that our buddy feels,
I know.
But-
it's his opinion, and we still love and, respect his opinion. But my question that I asked him was, he said, just because it's first doesn't mean it's the best. What's better? What's a better found footage movie than Blair Witch?
Well,
REC, record, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, in my opinion, there's better found footage films since this movie, but there's
what's better than it though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's record, like you just said, Record is a better movie than the Blair Witch Project.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't count Cannibal Holocaust because that's a legit movie that just happens to have scenes of a found footage type of deal.
Right.
If I sit down and think about it, I can come up with at least 3 or 4 that I prefer over this, but none of them could equal up to the success of it. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like saying Hulk Hogan is the greatest wrestler of all time, not because of his wrestling, but because he made the most money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things. Like, but there's maybe 2 or 3 that I would say, you know, is a little bit more enjoyable. But like you said, yeah, I enjoy Record. You know, not Quarantine, which is the American remake, but the actual Record, the original foreign film. So I like it. Number 26 from 1982, Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
No, not Poultrygeist. Poltergeist.
That actually is a movie, people. If you don't know.
Yeah, that's why I had to clarify it, because if you look that up for a goof, you'll find a fucking movie.
Oh my God, the finger in the butt.
Yeah.
Love it.
Not in this movie. There's no finger in the butt in this movie. This is a movie that's produced by Steven Spielberg and directed by the legendary Tobe Hooper, and it's an awesome fucking movie. This was back when you could do PG-13 movies, and they could still legitimately be scary.
Yeah, 100%. I think that this movie...
Did you have to recharge your batteries?
I went blank for a second. I'm sorry.
It's a delayed reaction right there.
Sorry, I had to pull. Ow! Something bit me.
It was a bullet, wasn't it? What? A bullet. It bit you.
I think that I almost said Poltergeist is on par with The Exorcist, honestly.
Ooh, I don't know about that shit.
I do. I feel like nothing's as good as The Exorcist, but sometimes I feel like it's like maybe a step behind.
Well, honestly, I think that Poltergeist is probably on par with Gremlins, in my opinion, as far as being those great gateway movies. I mean, it's the same movie, but using different techniques. You know, they're both PG-13. They're both for the entire family. There's not too much. You know, I think Poltergeist is probably a little bit more scarier to younger kids than what Gremlins would be.
Of course it is.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What the fuck's wrong with you? I'm playing peekaboo with you. You don't like it? No, you're right. It is a good gateway movie. Damn, is it really PG-13?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yes,
probably should have put that one on the kids gateway list. Maybe that would be the scariest movie you could show a kid.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's still. I don't know. It's one of those movies that's like, for us, like adults, it would be a gateway movie, but for a young kid, it would legitimately scare the shit out of them. So it's one of those, like, you have to, you know, it's like that movie, The Gate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen that movie?
I have seen The Gate.
That has what's his name? Stephen Dorff.
Yeah.
As a little boy, Stephen Dorff was the head vampire in Blade, by the way. That's where you probably know him from, and other films. But yeah, it's kind of like one of those, like, I don't know, man. It's like when they made gateway kind of movies back in the day, they still appeal to everybody. Like, I don't know, like there's a few movies that's come out that are like those types of movies. Like, I think Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Was a perfect way of being legitimately scary to, and still kind of having a PG tone to it. Conjuring, which is more horror, less, ha-ha shit in it. But,
yeah.
Anyway, number 25 from 1976, The Omen.
Wow. That's, damn, I'm just surprised that some of these are that low. Great movie. Fucking, really one of the movies to really bring the demon possession / devil possession to.
Yeah, and it's one of those movies where the villain is perfect because it's a little boy, so nobody's expecting, it's like, you kids are so protected and so looked at as innocent. So if you have the Antichrist right there and it's the Antichrist, everybody's going to think you're crazy. And,
nobody's going to believe you.
You're jealous that this little boy or this little girl gets all the attention, aren't you? You just can't wait to get rid of them. You're sick, you know, and the whole time it's like,
It's all for you, Donnie. Shit pants.
Number 24 from 1932, Freaks.
Wow, I wouldn't put this over some of the other movies. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean it's a good early horror film. Like I said, this is during the Frankenstein, Dracula era. Freaks is a great movie, and honestly, it's the most creepy movie out of those Universal films because these are real people that are, of course, you can't make a movie like Freaks today because of PC culture. It would be calling out people with disabilities and shit like that. But I'm going to state this right now. If you see somebody with no fucking torso scooting on the ground, it's fucking creepy, regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel bad, and obviously you don't want to sit there and make fun, but there's a little part of you that goes, ugh. I think we all have a little bit of, like, scaredness of, like,
freaks, freak phobia.
Not freaks, but like people like somebody who like loses a limb or has one leg. Like, we don't mean to be, but it's kind of like little creepy.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like when you see somebody and they have like a nub and they have like something growing out of it like a potato.
No, you did not just say that. Like little spuds.
You laughed. But that goes to my point. Yeah. That goes to my point. Like, we don't hate these people. It's just something that it's not normal to see most of the time. So, but like, imagine a whole army of people like that coming after you.
Yeah, it'd be creepy.
And the fact that these people were put, I mean, this was legitimate. You could legitimately go to a circus and it was like freak shows, like the bearded lady, the fucking, the strong man, I mean, American Horror Story did a whole goddamn season on it.
Yeah, it was a good season too. I think it's funny that, back then a bearded lady's considered a freak, and now it's acceptable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we went from, daddy wants mama to daddy wants to be mama. So,
Next.
number 23, from 1922, one of the most earliest and successful creepy movies ever made, is Nosferatu.
Great movie.
Yeah, Nosferatu is a great movie. It was during the silent era. For those of you that don't know, that's when you have no
Sound.
dialogue.
Yeah, no dialogue. Well, no. There was sound. There's music and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like a, they would have like a live, like if you would go, like the equivalent of going to the movies and watching a movie back then, you would go and watch, you would watch the movie, but it would be like a live symphony playing. So it was like a concert movie.
Yeah.
And if there was dialogue in the movie, you just had to read it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm stupid. No, but the creepiness, I don't know, it's some kind of magic that they had back in the day with, like, the way they did, like, shadowing and light concepts and how they can make something look creepy and, like, come from out of the shadows and go back in the shadows.
Yeah.
That was just, it's creepy but beautiful at the same time. And a lot of modern movies don't use lighting like they used to back in the day.
Yeah, it's a lot. The shadow on the walls and shit, and seeing those claws come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Here's one for you, number 22, from 1963, The Haunting. And they did a remake of this, I think, with Liam Neeson in it, in 1999. But this movie is based off of a book called The Haunting of... Depends on which version you see. There's one called The Haunting of Hill House, which I think was a Netflix series. And then there's one called The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
But again, this movie is effective. If you've never seen this movie, go back and watch it. It's one of those. It's like the Changeling. It's a straight up old school ghost film, but it stands out above most from this era, and that's why it's on here. So it's a good movie.
Excuse me. Yeah, amazing movie. Loved it.
Number 21, from 1999, Audition. This is a Japanese movie. You know how we feel about that. This is basically like a torture film about a crazy ass girl.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Who puts pins in a dude and does all this shit.
I've watched the highlight and stuff to it. Like, I just
yeah,
it's torture porn.
It's torture porn.
It doesn't deserve to be above the rest of these films.
I don't think so either. I think it's just inclusion. So getting into number 20, from 1984, on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow. Not even top 10. This top 10 better be fucking amazing.
Yeah, we've talked about Nightmare on Elm Street before and how it's a different type of slasher. You know, it's not set in reality. It has supernatural elements to it. It takes place in your dreams, which is pure genius, in my opinion. Legendary character from Freddy. The cast, fucking phenomenal, you know. Everybody did a great job in this movie. Wes Craven, probably, in my opinion, Wes Craven's done a lot of shit. But this is his, like, baby, in my opinion. Like, this is his Sweet Home Alabama.
I mean, the brilliant thing about Nightmare on Elm Street that I've always liked is that it's the killer you can't see, and everybody thinks you're crazy.
Well, here's the thing. They all know that they all know that you're actually telling the truth because they know that they torched this guy, but he's dead. So they think you're crazy. Like, how do you know about him?
Yeah.
You know, which is always kind of, you know, you always chalk it up to, oh, it's teenagers. They're probably drinking and on drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's funny because none of the kids are drinking and on drugs. It's the adults. It's the mother who's the alcoholic.
Yeah, yeah. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. Number 19 from 2008, Let the Right One In.
The remake.
No.
Oh, 2008. My bad. Oh, God, I'm having a brain fart today. My fault.
Yeah, this is the foreign film, which I think is a more superior film, in my opinion, comparing the two. I like both of them. The remake is called Let Me In. This is called Let the Right One In. And of course, this is a very different take on the vampire genre because this is about a little girl who happens to be a vampire and befriends this little boy in this apartment building. And, you know, usually a movie like that would, you know, the little boy would fall prey, but it's not. She's almost like a protector over him, which is very, you know, interesting. It's a great movie. Watch it.
It is. It's awesome. It's a very different take that breathes life into the vampire genre.
Number 18, another remake from 1986, The Fly. The Fly, if you haven't seen the original Flies, go back and watch them. They're not anywhere near as good as these, but they're, you know, Vincent Price plays in them. Vincent Price is always awesome. But The Fly, you know, you take it like kind of a science fiction approach and you add really gross shit.
Very gross shit.
Yeah, this film is so fucking underrated for being like just nasty and gross.
It is very excuse me. Oh, I was thinking about him fucking puking that white green vomit shit.
Yeah, it's
the fingernails.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And
God.
that's exactly what David Cronenberg is all about anyway. And you know, casting this is great. You know, Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, and yeah, go out of your way to see this. They did make a Fly 2. There's an original Fly 2, which is a pretty good movie. The Fly 2 to this one, not so much, even though it had Eric Schultz, I think is his name. Anyway, he played in the movie Mask. Not the one with Jim Carrey, but the one with Cher and Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
He was talking about, you know, another freak. Anyway, number 17 from 1987, Evil Dead 2. This goes into, you know.
I mean, me and you both think that this is probably the best one in the franchise.
Yeah, it takes everything that they did in the first Evil Dead, except this time they had a budget. And they had fun with it. You know, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time because we covered this in the whole video. But
yeah, go back and listen to it. Give us some plays and likes. Yeah, it's great. It's probably the best. It's probably the best requel, sequel. When it comes to horror movies, it's definitely up there.
Number 16 from 1981, American Werewolf in London.
Oh, I love this movie.
Yeah, this is a great movie. This is, in my opinion, this is a damn near perfect movie from scene to scene. Like, everything, like, it's one of those movies that you kind of want more of. It's so good that you just want more of it.
Yes.
You're kind of like disappointed when it ends.
Yeah, because it's such a fun ride. You don't want it to be over with.
Yeah.
I mean, it is my favorite werewolf movie of all time.
Oh, definitely. My favorite
and
as well.
we get to meet David Not next week, but the week after next.
Yep, he will be at one of these horror cons that we will be attending, and he's on the list. You just made the list! Number 15 from 1976.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to scratch this shit and do it over. You suck.
You suck.
It's from 1976. It's Carrie.
We haven't really got to talk about Carrie too much.
Well, I think Carrie gets overlooked a whole lot as far as like it took like, I think a lot of movies took influence from it, like superpowers doing crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, but this one is very unique because it's somebody who has like gifts that A, doesn't know how to control them, B, doesn't know why she has them, and C, has a fucking religious nutjob mom who thinks that she's the son of Satan. And literally tells her own daughter, your father was Satan. Probably wasn't Satan. Like,
But
it's
you know how
crazy.
she meant it, though.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where, it has a lot of things to do with, like, religion and nutty people and shit like
how
that.
you treat people.
Yeah, it's a great... By the way, that was written by Stephen King, so, for all you novelists, hell, half the people listening to this probably can't read.
I can't read.
I can't read either.
What?
You know what? You can't fucking type either.
No, I do talk to text, and I don't proof check it.
Yeah, you don't proof check it because it looks like you had a fucking stroke every time you send me a message.
Well, I'm putting myself, and my safety first. So you get talk to text.
Yeah. Anyway, number 14 is from 1961. I don't know if you've seen this. I actually have this movie over here in my collections, but as most of these movies I have, but The Innocents.
I have not seen this movie. I know about it, but I haven't gotten around to see it.
Well, it's another one of those creepy kid movies where, the spooky child movie kind of things, And it's one of those movies where, you have the kids and, nobody wants to believe that the kids are causing ruckus.
Causing a ruckus.
Yeah, it's very similar to The Omen in a kind of way, but yeah, definitely check that one out. Here's one, number 13 from 1973, Don't Look Now. I don't know if you've seen that one either.
I've seen Don't Look Now.
Yeah, this one has Donald Sutherland in it, and it's a slow burn. Not gonna lie to you, but it's about a child disappearing, not knowing where the child went or whatever, and the family, especially the father, who's played by Donald Sutherland, keeps seeing like the red jacket. Hold on. I don't. In the beginning of the movie, though, I think she drowns. I think that's what happens. Like the kid drowns, but they keep seeing the little girl running around town with a red jacket on. Anyway, at the end of the movie, it turns out to be a fucking freak.
Yeah, it's a very odd slow burn movie.
Yeah, but go out of your way to watch it. Number 12, probably one of the most influential movies of all time from 1968, Night of the Living Dead. This was George A. Romero's take on the zombie films. This is the reason why we have zombies that eat people. This is the reason why zombies are presented the way that they are presented, because before this movie you had zombie films, but it was more of let's dig up somebody from the graveyard, and now that we've brought them back to life, they have to like be my slave and do my deeds.
Yeah,
And
they wouldn't functioning on their own merits.
Yeah, and they they had like they were conscious and they could talk and they knew right from wrong. They were just brought back to life. In this one, these were literally walking corpses. You couldn't reason with them. They were going on pure instinct. You know.
They were going to eat your ass, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. So, they, you know, as previous zombie films, you felt bad for the person being brought to life because they didn't ask to be brought back to life. And after Night of the Living Dead, zombies were, I mean, they're not people anymore. They're literally just zombies. They're
just carnivores that don't care, have no conscience.
Number 11 from 1977, Suspiria.
What, number 11?
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the most beautifully shot horror movies. The colors in this movie are just fucking great.
Yeah, and there's an argument to be made among the horror community that really know Giallo films, and they say that this isn't one of them, and I say that you're full of shit.
Yes, 100%.
In my opinion, calling this movie not a Giallo film is like calling A Nightmare on Elm Street not a slasher film, because slasher films traditionally have a guy in a mask with a weapon killing off teenagers. They don't. It's not, you know. They don't talk. They don't kill you in your dreams. They don't have a supernatural. Well, a lot of people say, well, Giallos are just people, like real people that, you know, go around killing each other, like murder mystery type of deal. And Suspiria can't be called a Giallo because it has to do with a coveting of witches and supernatural stuff. And I say, fuck you. Eat a dick.
Yeah, I mean, this movie has probably one of the most creepiest horror scenes that Saw copied, just changed it up a little bit, where she falls into the room, and it's like nothing but a barbed wire pit.
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with the Saw franchise, when they felt it was a needle pit, I'm 100% sure that they copied that scene, but it's a fucking great, like, Covenant Witch movie, great special effects, great gore, just a great fucking story, beginning to end. It kind of gets a little bit slow burn in some parts, but for the most part, it's a fucking fantastic movie.
Yeah. It's good. Number 10.
Number 10.
1975. It's Jaws.
Ooh, number 10. Kick off. Jaws.
I'll agree. Maybe the first time that I'll say what you've been saying. I think this is low, probably because I'm biased because I love Jaws. Greatest animal movie ever fucking made.
I mean, yeah, that's why we haven't done an animals list.
Yeah. Quite
yet, because I mean, Jaws is number one. I mean, there's nothing that compares to Jaws. I mean, this shit made me scared to take a bath.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie from beginning to end. It's one of those movies I can watch every day, all day. I'll never get sick of Jaws. I mean, to be honest with you, and the fact is, it's one of those movies that just sticks with you, you know. But before Jaws came out, nobody really did movies about sharks, like, and the threat that they cause. Like, do you realize that we have real life animals like sharks in a fucking ocean that will eat you? Like,
yeah,
they're big, giant fucking monsters.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to think that nobody used that concept until Jaws came out. Like, it writes itself.
And not only was it a great movie, but a lot of people didn't know shit about sharks. They didn't
Yeah.
know that, they thought, oh, well, you had to go way out in the ocean to encounter a shark. But most attacks occur like 30 feet away from the beach in shallow water.
Well, some sharks, like tiger sharks, can even swim up to, I think it's like 3 feet of water.
Well, once their food supply thins out where they are, they know that people go into the ocean, so they swim up. They get a lot. In the last 30 years, they've gotten more bold, and there's been a lot more attacks reported.
Yeah. I mean, if you know you can swim 20 feet and get you a fucking mouthful of man Slim Jims, why not, right?
Well, it's like a line in the film, putting these people in the water is like ringing the dinner bell. Come get it.
Next.
Number 9. 1978, Dawn of the Dead. Everything I said about Night of the Living Dead, this is it. This is, in my opinion, the superior film in all of zombie movies.
It's the pinnacle.
Yeah, and you name any fucking zombie movie in any history made by anybody in any time period, blah, 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 and, you will have to do some serious convincing to me that it's better than Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, I'll hear your argument, but we're probably not going to agree.
Yeah. Number 8, from 1978. Can you guess?
Would you say 78?
Yeah.
Halloween?
Halloween.
Ooh.
John Carpenter.
Don't like it. No likey.
Well, you don't like the placement. Let's be clear here.
Yeah. The placement.
Be clear. Saves time, motherfucker. Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis, P.J. Scholes. I mean,
Nick Castle,
who, by the way, if you're a fan of the comedy movie, was Mr. Pain? What's the name of the movie?
Which movie?
Never mind. You suck.
What?
Major Pain.
Major Pain.
God damn it! You should have known when I said pain.
You're a pain in my ass.
Anyway, Nick Castle plays the original Michael Myers the majority of this film. Anyway, he later on became a director. He didn't direct too many projects, but probably his most famous one is Major Pain with Damon Wayans, which is a 90s comedy film.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's great. But we've talked about Halloween so many fucking times on this, we're not going to beat a dead horse.
No, just don't like the placement of the movie.
Yeah, you know what we feel. Number 7, here's one that finally got some love on a countdown list, and that is 1968 Rosemary's Baby.
I like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's highly underrated. I don't know if it's top 10.
Well, yeah, it's not in my top 10, I can tell you that, but it's underrated. It's, again, you want to talk about like religious cults, and you want to talk about like crazy people worshiping, Satan and everything like that, giving birth to the Antichrist. Yes, this woman actually does get raped by Satan in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And Roman Polanski is the director. If you don't know who that is, let me give you some history lessons, people. Roman Polanski was the boyfriend and the soon-to-be father of Sharon Tate's child until Sharon Tate got massacred in the Manson family murders.
Some deep shit there.
Yeah. Roman Polanski wasn't there. He was overseas shooting a film. But that was his kind of like Hollywood getaway house, and that's where they all were.
That's crazy. That's so sad, though.
So, Rosemary's Baby came out in 1968, which the Manson family murders happened a year after. So,
that sucks.
Yeah. Number 6. You talk about not liking the placement. 1982, The Thing.
Wow.
This is it's not too off on my list. I think The Thing is at number 5 on my list. So this is number 6, not too far off. Another John Carpenter classic. However, it's another remake of a old 50s sci-fi film of almost the same title, The Thing from Outer Space. Kurt Russell.
Yeah, but this remake is superior.
Oh, yeah.
Just like The Fly.
Well, the thing that's cool about it is if you go back and you watch Halloween and you see the kids watching spooky movies on TV, they're playing The Thing from Outer Space on television. So you fast forward 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, a couple years later, John Carpenter is remaking the movie, which is crazy. But you guys know what we like about The Thing. We've went into detail about how it's probably the greatest
creature feature.
Yeah.
Or alien. I mean, technically it is like an alien type monster. I mean,
well, I love Alien. I love Aliens. I love the creature designs on those films. I think that The Thing is more impressive because every kill, everything is different. Everything's a little bit different. It's not like the same alien going around killing people. Everything looks different. Yeah. So every scene had to be fucking modified.
Yeah. It was a different element of, it was a different element of tension because you wasn't sure who or what it was or who or what it could infect next versus just hiding from one creature.
Right. Well, coming in at number 5 on this list is from 1960, another Alfred Hitchcock classic, Psycho.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Psycho is in my top 10. We did a top 10 way back. I don't even know how many episodes we've done up until this point, but that might have been the first ever episode that we did. Like, to get to know us, we done our top 10.
Yeah, we did, actually. I think.
Yeah. Anthony Perkins plays, Norman Bates. It's directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Janet Leigh, who is Jamie Lee Curtis's mother, plays the lead. I don't know what to call her because, she's the whole point of the film is she has stolen a bunch of money and getting away. And, is it one of those things like, okay, yeah, she got killed in a very brutal fucking way. And it was probably very surprising because normally in a horror film especially, if you concentrate too much on one character, that character becomes the main character and you probably don't kill them off. And Alfred Hitchcock said, fuck it. And
we're going to kill the bitch.
Your main fucking star that you've seen for the first 30, 35 minutes of this film is now dead.
Yeah, because, you can't call her a final girl because she didn't fucking survive.
No, she's definitely a Scream Queen. She might be the original Scream Queen.
Yeah. She's not the main, antagonist. She's just, I don't know. It's just the way Alfred Hitchcock shot the movie. It's one of those just,
and that's why it's revered,
hard to explain.
as shocking because you didn't do shit like that. And interesting fact, the first time ever that a fucking shitter was saw on television was in the movie Psycho. If you look before 1960, you will not find any toilet shots in any movie.
I wonder why.
I don't know. Probably nobody ever thought about, hey, let's shoot the shitter.
Shoot.
I don't know.
Gonna kill this bitch in the crapper.
Well, coming in at number 4 from 1979, we just talked about it. It's Alien. Not Aliens, but Alien. There's a debate back and forth between the horror community world. Which film is better? I prefer Aliens. I prefer Aliens, personally, but Alien without Alien, you wouldn't have Aliens. Just
True.
like, look, I know that like Terminator 2 is a superior film, but there's something about the first Terminator that I really fucking like. I like the fact that he's a bad guy. And I don't know. Kind of the same thing with this movie. Like, it's obvious that Aliens is the better film, but Alien was groundbreaking when it came out. It was you didn't get sci-fi movies. And if you did get sci-fi movies, it was not... This was like the first time that aliens were legitimately fucking terrifying. So...
Yeah, anything before this, they were like... They almost looked like astronauts or like...
Yeah, they were like...
octopus creatures or...
It was the flying saucer, flying around and shit. You didn't get like monster type of shit. Anyway, number 3 from 1974, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wow. I'm guessing Exorcist is number 1. I haven't heard The Exorcist next. I mean...
fuck what you think.
I hope your fucking toe falls off.
Dude, that was a fucking Nightmare 3 reference.
I get that. But,
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Who gives a fuck what you think?
Stupid ass.
Yeah.
I wouldn't... It's higher on my list, but...
Well, it's higher on my list too, but only by 1. This is number 3. It's number 2 on my list. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Chainsaw. We've went over the Chainsaw series.
Yeah.
Um,
We've given our thoughts on it. I mean, I don't want to sit here and beat a dead horse.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the greatest, grittiest horror film ever made, and it has very little blood, very little gore, very little everything that would make like a movie like this. It doesn't even have, but it's so goddamn frightening that after you see it, you swear you saw fucking. It was the nastiest fucking movie you've ever seen.
Right. It's so weird. It's such a psychological mindfuck.
Yeah, it is a psychological mindfuck.
We've heard the conversation from people like, oh, that's the goriest movie I've ever watched.
And here's the thing. Tobe Hooper thought he made a PG-13 movie. And literally, the ratings companies gave this movie a rated R. And he said, why? He said, there's hardly no cussing in it. There's no blood. There's hardly gore. There's hardly anything in it. And they literally looked at him and said, this movie is so goddamn scary, it's just going to get a rated R.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking crazy to think.
Yeah. It's completely insane. Number 2, 1980, The Shining. Those of you who know me knows that The Shining is my favorite movie of all time. I love the story. I love the guy. It's about a guy who is already on the edge, and then when he gets put in a situation to be influenced by the ghost and spirits of this hotel, they push him over the line. So They attach themselves to him because they know that he is already a like unhinged, so he's like easy prey.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
so,
already on the verge of being a bad person.
Yeah,
It's just, he's just needed that little extra push, and then bam, bam, boom, here comes Johnny.
Yeah, and you know, some people say, "Oh, the movie's too long. It's boring. It's this and that." I say, eat a dick up. You know, like I said at the beginning of this, we love gore films, we love slasher films, but we like stories, we like build-ups. And if you don't think it's interesting, that's fine, you know, whatever. But I'm not here, you know, it's your loss, okay? If you don't like movies like The Shining because it's you say it's a slow burn, then that's your loss. That's cool. I'm just glad that movies like this are made and I get to watch it.
And enjoy it.
And no surprise that number one from 1973, The Exorcist.
Really? No shit.
Oh, shit. Yep. What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Yeah. No.
Swallow your hole, swallow your hole.
Yeah, none of the teeth.
Whatever she says, she starts speaking Latin to the priest in the movie, and that's all I remember she said. She said,
Lot of the teeth.
The teat.
anyway, again, doesn't get enough credit for being a pretty gross fucking film.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like
fucking
the
pea soup.
The fucking vomit and the snot.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think. And the sores on her face.
Yeah, it's one of those horror movies where it's not many victims, but it's not about people dying or the victims. It's about, like, what are we seeing here?
Yeah,
It is-
You're watching pretty much the death of a little girl.
Yeah, there's no movie better in the possession world or the demonic world or that deals with religion as a taboo better than The Exorcist. It's The Exorcist and it's everything else. Okay? It's kind of like Jaws is the pinnacle of shark movies. Everything else is either okay to extremely fucking bad, right? The Exorcist, as far as demon movies, whatever, that's the pinnacle, and everything else is either okay, that's good to extremely fucking bad. So, you know, The Exorcist is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time, and to be honest with you, I respect this list. You know, some of them we didn't agree with, but nothing like offended us. I think the only movie on the list that I probably would not have in the top 30 is the Audition movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't see any Ringu and all that poor shit.
Grudge.
And Hereditary and all. You know, first of all, I'm going to go off on tyrant here. I don't mean to, but
Go ahead.
if you were one of these websites and you were doing the greatest movies of all time, horror-wise, and Hereditary is in your top 10, 20, if it's anywhere near, first of all, I don't know why you'd put it in your top 100 at all, but if it's below, like, 55, you're a dick sucker. And I want you to know that you have the right to your opinion, and I have a right to my opinion. And my opinion is you have no right to your opinion.
You still sleep with your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Hereditary. It's that to me. Brandon asked me yesterday, and he said, "What's the most overrated horror movie of all time?" My immediate answer was The Ring, but now thinking about it, it's probably Hereditary.
Yeah, because, dude, I can go back and watch The Ring, and even though it's not as bad as I hated it the first time, But it's one of those things where I've seen way more worse that it kind of just knocks itself off the list. And Hereditary was so overhyped. And it's one of these, what's that studio that makes them?
A24.
A24. These artsy fartsy like shit that is just, they try to make these very artsy types of films. So yeah, I don't I'm not saying all of them are bad, I like
A24's got some pretty good movies.
I like The Witch, but they try to make artsy fartsy movies, and they seem to have a similar pattern, which is you don't fully understand this movie, therefore it's brilliant. And that's not always the goddamn case.
No, it's not.
Sometimes if you don't understand the movie, it's because it's fucking stupid.
Agreed, sir. It is.
Yeah.
Just because, well, a lot of people would say The Shining's like that.
Yeah. They're wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that's the argument. A lot of people hate The Shining because they don't understand it.
Well, that's perfectly fine, but I hate Hereditary because of
I mean, I get it. I just don't think it's good. It's been done by better.
Yeah. That's a good scene in Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. I get what you're saying, I just think it's bullshit.
Stupid. Perfect, though. But now, we're going to try to trump the thunder.
Why don't you try to Biden me?
I apologize. My co-host is stupid.
Next week, you going to Kennedy me. We're going to make it a running gag of just, President Trump.
I was more trying to go off of Stump the Trump, Trump the Stump, from that rock and metal show.
Yeah, ours is called Stink the Pink. Or Pink the Stink.
Pink stink.
Stank?
Stank.
What the
Still
hell's
stank,
wrong?
bitch.
What the hell's wrong with Stank? I don't know. Ever since he developed that hump, he's been such a bitch.
Stupid. All right. You ready?
Yeah, we'll try.
I said, are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay, number one. What was the monster in 1954's Them?
I believe it was a fucking giant ant on it.
Ding, ding, ding.
I almost said spider, but then I caught myself.
All right. Number two. Which Stephen Sting?
Who?
Sting! It's Sting!
This sounds like a porn star, Steven
What?
Skinberg.
Michael Skinflute. Which Stephen's... Look, you don't fuck me up. Which Stephen King story was turned into a terrifying 1976 film?
That would be Carrie.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
2 for 2. I didn't read these.
I'm
before.
pretty good with dates when it comes to horror films.
Yeah,
so.
I'm tempted to leave some of these out, but let's see. This vampire flick is a silent film from the 1920s. Name it.
Nosferatu.
Ding, 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 ding. I don't think we're going to stump the Trump. Trump the thunder.
Stink the Pink.
Pink the stinky pinky. Merry Christmas. All right, what film starred an actor who actually did not know he was acting for a horror movie?
Wow.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Might have done stank the pank on this one.
Okay, I'll read the question again.
Okay.
Which film starred an actor who actually did not know he was acting for a horror movie?
I'm sure I've heard the story before, but I don't know. Nothing comes to my mind right now.
You want to take a shot in the dark?
I'm drawing a blank. I don't know.
Danny Lloyd in The Shining.
Oh, that's a cheap fucking... That's cheap. Like, of course he didn't know. He's a little boy. They didn't want to freak him out or whatever, but...
Whatever, queer.
I mean, that's kind of stupid. Anyway, go ahead.
What was the almost title of Friday the 13th movies?
The almost title of it?
Yes.
I feel like I know this and I'm going to get it wrong. I want to say, the obvious choice for me is Camp Blood. And I think that's wrong. Is that wrong?
Is that your final answer? And the French fry taters in there.
I feel like it's wrong, but yeah, I'm on the final answer. Fuck it.
You're half right. It's Long Night at Camp Blood.
Long Night at Camp Blood. Yeah.
Maybe I'll do a half on that one, because
Half a stank.
half a stank on the pank. Jesus Christ. This is why nobody listens to this shit.
Whatever.
Whatever, queer. How many people died in the Babadook?
Oh, God. None.
Ding, ding, ding. That is right. 0 died in the Babadook.
I'm glad I got that right because I try to forget that goddamn movie. I wish that kid would have fucking died. God damn.
Stupid.
Kid was one of the worst annoying characters in the history. I mean, that kid makes Tina from Halloween 5 look standable. You know how hard that is? God damn, I just fucking spin kicked that kid in the fucking teeth.
You are stupid. Ban Terminator!
That kid was so goddamn annoying. Ooh, go ahead.
How did they shoot the creepy walk of Samara in The Ring?
I don't know. How did they shoot it?
Yeah.
Upside down?
No.
I don't know. I suppose somebody was behind the camera and they rolled action. That's how they fucking shot it.
You're an idiot. Samara walked backwards.
I said backwards.
No, you didn't say backwards.
I said upside down.
Backwards. I'm going to shit myself.
Go ahead. How many more of these?
We're going to do 10.
How many have I done so far?
This is number 8.
How many have I missed? Like 2?
3. How many people... hang on. I can't read.
You have a stroke again?
Shut up. How many people associated with The Exorcist died during production?
Oh, man. I honestly don't know the exact number, but I know that it was quite a few. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. I know about the stories. I just don't know the exact details. I'm going to say...
Do you want a hint? This is your lifeline on this one.
Okay.
Do you want it? Or do you want to just guess?
I mean, it don't matter. I mean, am I going to get it off of the hint?
Maybe.
I kind of don't want it then.
Okay, go ahead.
No, give me the hint.
It's less than 10.
Six.
What was your original answer before I told you that?
12.
Okay. Nine.
That's a lot of people.
Yes. Before the release of the film, 2 actors died along with 7 other people associated with the cast and crew.
Yeah. I mean,
which is crazy.
That's certainly, they have a film series, like a documentary, not a documentary, but like a series called Cursed Films. I believe it's on Shudder, isn't it? No, it was on A&E. No, not A&E. AMC.
It might be on Shudder though.
Yeah, it might be on Shudder. Well, I'll check it out. Like, that was a good ass show. Like, they would go like behind the scenes of like crazy stuff. Like, my favorite one that they've done is The Exorcist. So
okay.
Next.
Which horror movie film actress slept in bloody clothes for 3 days to nail the look of a gore scene?
These are random questions that could be applied to anybody, I think, right? I want to say,
I'll give you two lifelines.
Well, I'm gonna. All right, let me ask you a question about it, okay?
Okay.
This actress,
yes,
was this film made in the 70s?
We talked about this in the top 30.
Well, you know who the first person that's coming to my mind is the most bloodiest woman I could think of in a horror film, which is Sissy Spacek in Carrie. But
you are correct.
Oh yeah?
Yes. She slept in clothes to ensure the scene for 3 days to give it that certain look.
Well, I just thought of the most bloodiest woman I could ever think of in a horror film, and that's probably the bloodiest I've ever seen. I mean, the only thing that rivals her is probably 2013's Evil Dead. Yeah, when the girl's covered in blood from head to toe.
Yeah, when it's like raining blood from the sky.
Yeah.
From an asshole in the sky. Slayer reference. All right, you just want to do 10 questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10. I feel like I'm giving you this one. How long did it take to film the Blair Witch Project?
Oh, it didn't take too long. It was just a couple days. Like, do they count reshoots and stuff like that, or put it like this? It's a single number, isn't it? Or is it a multiple number?
Do you want to use your last lifeline?
Sure.
It is a single number.
Okay, yeah. So it was like 3 or 4 days.
What's your number? You got 1 through 9, buddy.
I don't know. I don't know the 7 days.
8. Do you want a let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want a tiebreaker?
Sure.
Okay. Let me see.
I have general knowledge of all of this. I just might not be precise.
I'm looking at. Okay. Do you want a question based on like a movie or like rules of a horror movie?
Whatever you think is interesting.
Okay. What's the most difficult thing to do in a horror movie?
Probably scream and act scared.
Oh no! You're overthinking this. Now, like, what's the hardest thing to do? Horror movie rules in a horror movie.
Oh, you mean like for the characters in the movie?
Yes.
Not like what the actress has to go
not
through.
what the actress has to go through.
Okay. Well, let's think about the rules. The hardest thing not to do. Probably say, I'll be back.
Okay. Running without tripping.
I don't agree with that. Yeah, I do. Whatever.
All right, I'm going to do one more. Maybe.
Damn it! I've already lost.
I know, but I want you to win. I'm fighting for you, man. All right. How much screen time does Freddy Krueger get in the first Nightmare on Elm Street?
5:11.
You stupid.
I don't know the exact scream time.
Scream time. I like that. That was a fuck up. That was a cool fuck up.
13 minutes.
Close. 7.
Oh, okay. Well, less than I thought.
Well, today we've officially stumped the Thunder.
It was horse shit questions.
We'll try to get some more questions that is on par for next time. But
yeah, that's actually pretty cool. You know, if you were here, you'd win a bass guitar.
yeah, but today he gets nothing. He has to sleep outside naked.
Well, I'm talking about the other people. Somebody would have won a bass guitar.
If you win, you get the privilege of sleeping with Todd naked.
With a bass guitar.
With a bass guitar.
And Cheez-Its.
Cheez-It Poofs.
Yeah. Like
I'm JT Ripper.
And I'm Todd of Thunder, saying toodaloo.
Yeah, I wish I had Planters peanuts.